Hello and welcome back to Top Table Gaming. Darkblade here. I'm going to do a quick Darkblade demo for you. This one's going to be on weathering, more precisely a lovely rust effect that we're going to put on this taxi door. Doesn't have to be a taxi door. You can use this for your dumpsters or any kind of scatter terrain like your cars and stuff like that. It's a really nice effect when it's finished. So yeah, we'll crack on with that. I'll just show you the colours that we've laid out for you here. Obviously, the taxi door has already been painted in this deep yellow by Vallejo. The window is sky blue. The dark Prussian blue is going to be the bottom half of the glass are going to get a nice transition from light to dark. So that's going to be the shadow colour. The gunmetal grey is by Vallejo Model Air. These are really good metallics. If you can get this one steel and chrome, you're onto a winner because you've got your shade, which is this one. The steel is the mid-tone, and obviously the chrome is the highlight, and they're really lovely to use. If you can get hold of this stuff, it's like magic in a bottle. It's basically a white ink, but it's really pure. It's already thinned down. I add it to colours to just get a highlight straight away. It's lovely stuff. You don't have to mess about with it. Just put a little blob on the edge of your palette and take it when you need it. It's brilliant. Anyway, onto the rust colours. You don't have to use Citadel colours, but I've just picked these because I'm used to using them. So you want a dark brown like Rhinox hide. You want a mid-tone like Scribe brown is basically a mid-brown with a bit of red in it, almost orange. So a reddy brown. And then I don't know whether to use the Jukero orange or the Troll Slayer orange yet. Both are pretty similar. One's obviously less desaturated. We'll have a play, see what it turns out like. And the Rise of Rust, I might have a go at that just around the handle because I know watered down it gives a lovely effect. Right, I know it's like a dry paint, but if you water down, it's got a lovely colour for rust. So there we are. Let's move on to the next stage. This mini was something that I worked on a while ago, but it just gives you an idea of what you can achieve really with the rust effect if you do it properly. It's amazing. So yeah, fingers crossed this is what it's going to turn out like. Yeah, as you can see, it's a lovely effect. There's a few other things that you might need before you actually get started is sponge. If you hang on to the sponge from your blisters because it's really useful. What you do is just rip a bit off. As you can see, there's an uneven surface there that you can use to just dip in your paint and then dab it onto the areas, and it gives a nice random pattern then. The other thing you might have seen in my hand just then is a stipple brush. Now, I'm not entirely sure where I picked this up. It was probably an art shop, but yeah, it's turned white through quite a few months of using it to stipple on white lines on my Streets of Gotham terrain. And I've forgotten to clean it, but it still works. All you need is a little dab at the end of it, and it gives a lovely effect again. So if you get your hands on one of them, they're really good. Okay, so all I've done here is emptied out the Rhinox hide into there, Scrag brown and the orange. So you got your bit of ripped off blister pack sponge. We've got the door. So I'll start off with the Rhinox hide. And what you do, you dip it in the paint and you get rid of the excess on a paper towel. Obviously this does two things. It gets rid of the excess paint so it doesn't go on too heavy when you go onto there, and it gives you a rough idea of what kind of pattern it's going to leave. So then you can think, all right, if I need that, a darker bit of pattern down here, you can look and see, yeah, that's where the biggest patch is going to be, so I'll have that down there. That's the theory anyway. So we'll give that a go. So yeah, okay. So I'm just going down around the edges for now. You see it's building up there. You got a nice random pattern. You don't want regular size blobs, if you know what I mean, like a circle here and a circle here, all the same size. You want to mix it up a bit, and that's the beauty of the sponge. Yeah, so I feel like I'm going to go a lot heavier than that, so I'm going to get some more on the sponge, dip off the excess. And we'll see what that gives us. Yeah, okay. Go up around the top. A bit more down the bottom. I think we can go a bit heavier there. Yeah, okay, cool. Just remember, you're going to go lighter on top of that as well, so there's no need to panic just yet. Okay. Yeah, just off camera, I did a little bit more, but I used the stipple brush instead. So you can see where we're at now. I've gone around all the edges as well. This time I'm going in with a scrag brown, so same again, get the excess off your brush. We'll start to see now. Yeah, there's less going on, so I'm just going in over the top of the brown area. It's just changing it slightly. A little bit more. If you can imagine this on the side of your dumpster as well. Look pretty good. Okay, I think that's enough on that. Come up the top as well. So the next one is going to be, I think this was the Troll Slayer orange. If you got a nice bright orange, I think that's the best one to use. And you want to be a bit lighter handed with this one, because it's only the odd area that you're going to get bright orange patches. And you might need to go in quite a few times just to get it to stick. See that coming through? I've lost a bit of the dark brown, so I'm going back in that. Down the bottom. Okay. A bit more orange. Okay, so we got a big blob there. What I'm going to do is wash that off. We'll find a brush, that is. Try this dirty great big one, but I'm not going to hold that much up. We'll brush this sides. But yeah, it's coming away. So that's just a wet brush and it's come off quite easily. It hasn't really spoiled it just yet. Okay, so we'll leave that to dry, and while that's drying we can crack on with the glass part. So for this part I've got the dark Prussian brew. I watered it down quite a bit. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's nearly there. It's more or less and glaze consistency. I'll give that a go. What I'm going to do, I'm going to start on the bottom half, about halfway, and just pull the pigment down. See it's pooling down in the bottom there. I'll wet my brush and feather out that line. This is going to take about 3 or 4 coats before you get a decent transition there, so I'll come back in a couple of coats and you can see what it looks like. Okay, so that's about 3 layers I've used now, and I'm going in with the last one now, but I'm just going to do more or less stay down the bottom end of the paint. So it's still with a dark Prussian blue, but I'm just staying down here. I'm still pooling it towards the bottom. As you can see now, I'm starting to get a nice gradient there. So I'm just going to feather out that bit. So that's just water on the brush there. It just smooths out everything for you. So while that bottom bit's wet, I'm going up to the top bit now with the sky blue. And again, this is quite watered down, so I'm going to flip it around this way. So again, I'll be pulling the paint this way. Let's get rid of the excess on my brush. And let's start there, and let's kind of pull it up. Just to lighten things up a bit at the top. Well, I can get away without feathering it, I think. But get that either anyway. No, that's not too bad. I might need another coat, but as you can see, it's starting to look quite nice there. So I'll leave that dry and come back to it. Right, so I'm going to go into one more coat. Remember, this is really thin sky blue paint. It's starting to run down the side, so I'll get rid of that. Just wet your brush, just run it down. Wet your brush, right down. A bit too much water on my brush there, but it's getting rid of it. Down the side, because you don't really want it down there. Let's look it up. It's good when you see mistakes and you're able to correct them and show you how you do it. So it's been pretty good. So the next coat, I think we're going to add a bit of that super white to the sky blue and get a really nice highlight on it, but that'll be right down the bottom now. So yeah, I'm going in with one last coat, getting rid of the excess again. And staying up the top. You might think, why is he bothering, doing this on a taxi window? But if you think about it, the techniques that you've seen here is you started off with the midtones, the sky blue, then you went into the shade with your dark Prussian blue. You pushed the pigment down away, you feathered it off so you got a nice transition. You put your sky blue back in, and then the sky blue and white right at the top, and you've got a nice little transition there. But just with that little piece of glass there, you've got the techniques that you can use on any figure. Your midtone, your shade, and your highlight. You break down your model into little sections, like, all right, I'll do the leg now, or I'll do his bicep. If you want to break it down minutely, all the techniques that you need are in that bit of glass. So hopefully, if you can master this, you can master anything. So yeah, we've got the transitions, so it's all looking good. What I'll do probably next, if you wanted to take it up a level again, is to just highlight the cracks or put a dark line along the cracks and then a light line along the bottom of the crack, so it really emphasizes it. So yeah, I'll need a dark line in there first, and then I'll go in with a highlight, and I'll show you what it looks like when we're done. Okay, so all I've done was I used the dark Prussian blue on the cracks, and down the bottom end, the dark Prussian blue, because it was already that colour down there, it wasn't really working, so I used black to darken them all down, and then I highlighted with the sky blue and white along the bottom edge of all the cracks, and I stayed to the same side on the cracks that were going vertically. And that's basically almost there. I've watered down some of that riser rust, and I just dabbed it around the handle and under the windscreen. You can see there. If you wanted to go further again, you can use a mid-brown glaze to soften everything out a little bit. If you want to do it that way, that's fine. You can even go on to using oils, which we'll probably use in another demo later on. Probably if we do a dumpster or something like that, you can go on to using grime and streaks and stuff like that. That'd be pretty cool. But there you go. That's how I do my rust. Hopefully, if you can follow that, especially the blending at the top half on the glass screen. Any problems anyway, give us a shout. And hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you again soon. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And thanks again from the team at Top Table Gaming. Cheers.